Hi, I'm Sierra, and today we are working on pop-ups. So whether you're brand new to surfing or you've been surfing for a while, but you're getting hung up right at the beginning of the wave, this video is for you. Let's jump in.
To get started, we are going to go ahead and lay down on our surfboard. You're going to put your hands right next to your chest. You don't want to put them above your head. A lot of people try to do this and then pull themselves up, but this makes it more difficult. Keep them right next to your chest. Next, we're going to use our hands to push up into a push-up position. You're going to have both your knees and your toes on the surfboard, especially if you are a beginner and have a longer board. Now, if you're more advanced or you're a short boarder and your board is shorter, then your toes may be in the water and we won't be able to use those. But either way, we're going to plant those knees down and use them to push off. Now it's time for our pop-up. So you're going to push off of those hands and knees and the toes if they're down on the board and spring up into a standing position. You can do it one of two ways. You can either jump to both feet at the same time, or you can do more of a 1-2 step. The 1-2 step can be a great option if the jump is challenging for you, and you'll even notice a lot of very advanced surfers do this. As long as you keep it quick, it works perfectly. So figure out which one feels best to you and give that a go. Once we're up, there's a few things that we want to double check. First off, you can stand whichever way you'd like. Everybody has a favorite side. I stand with my right foot in front, which makes me goofy foot. A lot of people stand with their left foot front, which makes them regular foot. But it doesn't matter. It's whatever feels comfortable to you. You want to make sure that your feet are nice and spread apart. If you try to surf with your feet close together, you're probably going to get knocked off balance. So make sure you have a nice wide stance, a little bit outside of hip width apart. Also make sure that those knees are bent. That's going to help you take the bounce of the wave. And make sure your feet are facing sideways. You don't want them facing forward as it's hard to balance. It's like walking a tightrope then. So keep them nice and sideways, knees bent, feet spread apart. Last thing you want to check is that your eyes are up. Wherever your eyes and your chest face, you are going to follow, and your surfboards are going to follow. You're going to hear me say this a million times as we talk about different techniques in surfing because it applies to so many things. But it applies here to our pop-up as well. So you want to keep those eyes nice and tall, that chest tall. If you're facing down towards the board or looking at the board, you're likely to tumble down into the ocean. Now that you've seen all the pieces, I'm going to demonstrate a couple of times. Watch how I keep my hands by my chest. I use my knees to push off and come up. My feet are firmly planted in the middle of the board. They're facing sideways, they're spread apart, and my knees are bent. Next, I'm going to show you a modification if you're struggling to get up the way we talked about previously. So if the jump and the 1-2 step aren't working for you, you can use your back knee to help you get up. This is a great method to learn, but if you learn this way, you'll have to break this habit later. When doing this modification, start in a laying position and then push up on your hands and knees, just like we talked about before. You're going to be in that push-up position. From here, you're going to bring one leg forward and plant that front foot down, but your back knee is going to stay on the board. Notice how my hands still had to come up as my front foot went down. That's very important. From this kneeling position on one knee, I'm going to then stand tall. Some people find it easiest to go to a knee first. The thing is, you can never put your front knee down. It's so hard to get off of your front knee once you're on it. So if you need to go to a knee, make sure it's your back knee that stays on the board. Now it's time to hit the ocean. Pick the pop-up that works best for you, the jump up, the 1-2 step, and the knee modification. Be mindful out there, remember what you've learned, and keep working on it. It always takes a while to get the hang of it in the ocean. So don't give up, have a great time, and I'll see you next time.
All right, guys, you are ready to hit the water now. Make sure to give it a few practices on land first, just because that helps you build that muscle memory, and then you can take it to the ocean where it's a little bit more bouncy with those waves. To practice it on land, I wouldn't recommend popping up on your surfboard like I was doing in those videos unless you have a soft top with plastic fins. If you do, dig a little hole for them, you'll be ready to go. If not, I would just use your imagination or draw a surfboard in the sand so that you don't damage your board. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Next time we're going to talk about stretches and cross training that you can do for pop-ups, and then we're going to talk about common mistakes that people make that maybe you're making. So make sure to log into those. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.